else on here. We've got a big push net today. We're going to try and find some prawns, spider crabs, see what's in there really. It really helps us decide how we want to fish with bait. Let's have a little look, shall we? Well, we're heading for the rocks over there, but you will find prawns in all sorts of places. More so shrimps on the beach, but it's sometimes worth checking the end of groins. That's what we always talk about, don't we, at the fishing. And I'm using this big push net today. You know, a butterfly net as well is useful for the smaller rock pools, but just want to have a look in here. You can see it's a real struggle. We've still got this blasted gully water. It just makes it sort of thick. No clear water here at all, although we are seeing the end of the gully water. I'm going to keep persevering though. Always worth giving it a nice push up against the rocks. Prawns tend to hide sort of underneath the rocks a bit, so scooping up and then dragging it on the underside of a rock can be useful. Ideally you use these prawns, you know, float fished or free lined is quite a good method, but today I'm going to use them on a pulley pennel and sort of pack them on. We may lose a few on the cast, we'll find out later. Oh, this is more like it. You see there, I just pushed through a little gap in the rock. But what's happening there is the tide starts to push, dislodges the prawns. First bit of the flood, lovely. It does make me think that's where the bass want to be. First push of the tide, you see. First to the bait. There you go, a little bit bigger. Another good way is just to use that incoming tide. You see how the tide's just starting to push, and then just working against the tide. So I think the theory is that the prawns are being dislodged, aren't they, and then coming in through the gully, which is also where the bass should be. Getting a few there. There's 8 or so in there. I'm not having the best of luck with fishing at the moment. I've gone down to Brighton Marina. We've had a blank. I recently spent 4 hours on the beach and ended up with one rockling. So we've come somewhere new today. This is not somewhere I've fished. We're going to do a little bit of scouting now. It's low tide, always the best time, low tide. It's a place called Cooden. It's just to the west of Bexhill. It looks like there's a lot of flat sand here, but also where the shingles built up could be a better spot. There's ample parking here just to walk down the shingle beach, but we will choose the best spot. You see it a little bit better here. It's obviously a real shallow bit, and then like the shallow bits where the waves are breaking there. You know, if I cast on there, I'm literally in a few inches of water, but inside it's a little bit deeper. So with the tide coming in, I want to be casting in and around that little sandbank. I think at the moment it'll be pretty useless, but unless I cast past it. It's always a little bit more interesting fishing a new venue. I mean, I only live down the road, so surprising I haven't fished here before. I think sometimes in fishing you stick to what you know, don't you? In here, first job is to get some fresh water in here, keep that oxygenated. I mean, sometimes you can, you know, bring an aerator down to the beach, but what we're going to do is just keep filling this up. A little scoop of this horrible gully water, unfortunately. So I always maintain on the channel, be prepared, ready to go, have all your lines set up. But I've come down to the beach, I need to put on some tapered leader on the beach. Not ideal, because the more you can do at home, the easier the fishing is really. But this is just £15 to £60 leader line, so the thin part of the leader line attaches to the £15 main line, I use Asso braid, someone was asking on the last video, and then I do the same again where I've got braid on the other reel and put it on the beach. Well, I've just tied that leader on, I didn't put it around the bail arm. I do it occasionally, but it is an easy fix. So if you are new to fishing, or if you're not new to fishing and you're making a mistake like I've just done, obviously all you need to do is just take the spool off, put that bail arm down, put the spool back, and then you clip the bail arm down, you've got the line woved around the right way. A rookie mistake, but I'm sure I'll do it again in my haste to get fishing. And I am looking forward to fishing today. It's really interesting looking at this venue. So hopefully in this shot here you can see we've got a flat sandbank out there. That's why you can see those waves. And what I'm looking forward to is the fish coming across that sandbank as the tide starts to flood. It's usually a really good spot, and then we've got a little gully in front of us as well. Now, I must admit, I'm always thinking about how the bass are moving within a tide, and I don't tend to give as much attention to other fish like plaice, flounder and smoothhounds that might be a possibility today, what they're up to. So I'm a little bit bass centric with my fishing, it has to be said, but it's not necessarily just the bass that will move across a sandbank on that first push of the tide. I know flounders are very similar. Always seem to get them on the first of the flood like I do with the bass as well. I've got a feeling smoothhounds need a little bit more water under their back to move and find the bait, but as I say, that looks a little bit bassy to me today. Just been in the tackle shop. Steve's not actually sure if these are farmed, and I've got a feeling they, mind you, that, yeah, that's had a little nip out of it, but normally the farm ones are a lot more lethargic and smaller. Look at that, and I might save that one, that special bait. Ooh, lovely little things. In addition to that, we've the prawns that you've seen earlier, and some gutted lug in there as well. I'm going to start off though, a little bit of squid and lug, just to get some distance, and then we're going to play around with the more interesting baits, I think, the rag and the prawns. Luckily the tide's coming in. Right, both rods set up then. We're getting a little bit of a tap, but that is just that, you see where the surf's breaking. We've got deeper water in front of us, and then a shallow reef, and then obviously deeper after that. I think it's just the waves plucking up the braid on one and the mono on the other. Loosely wrap those prawns on and then clip that in. Oh, come on then. What do you think it is? See that? Pulls it right down. These continental rods do show up a bite quite well though, sort of exaggerate things. Be honest, did you guess it right? Let's have a look.
Foul hook flounder.
And if you look at the tail, you see how that's quite wide. Some people try and ID them by right-sided or left-sided, but that can vary. The colour's a bit of a giveaway, but I always go with the tail. Pretty unmistakable, the flounder.
Put that one back, it's fouled up.
So because we've had the flounder, go back on the lug and the rag. I think it took the I think it's the lug that's. So no massive cast necessary here. You can see if you look out to sea there, you can notice the waves have gone. So the tide has gone high enough over that sandbank. That should lead to a few more fish coming across into the gully that's a little bit closer. But it's all theory, isn't it, fishing? Let's see what happens. We're about 2 hours up from low tide now. Pleased to get the flounder, but I'd like something else. Time for the biggest rag. For some reason it's got a head. Got a wiggler on as well. It does go well. It's a bass. Oh, you gotta love a bass. That's hooked. There you go. About 42 centimetres. Do the same thing again, I think. Just put a big rag worm on this 5.0 Cox and Raw hook. Well, I'm a little bit happier now. I was sat down, went on my phone, wasn't concentrating. Lovely bit of ragworm. We're just going to copy what we did last time. Don't need to cast far here, I don't think. We'll crop this out, see if there's any more bass. That one came up at 44 centimetres. Had a fish, you do get a little bit more switched on to the little knocks. There is something having a little tap on here. With the big bait, with something like a bass, I've got to be a little bit quicker at leaning into it. With the 3-hook flappers over there on the size 1/0s, not so much. What I'm feeling for is more of a solid pull. So not a bad little venue then. Yeah, got something else on here. Only small though. Very small. Another flounder, but once again foul hooked. Luckily just under the eye, but a foul hooked. So it's my fault that they're being foul hooked, because I've used such a long bait that goes all the way up the snood. You know, the fish is eating one part of the worm and it's getting foul hooked on the other, so definitely fish around the bait, but I maybe need to use more compact baits. There you go. Round shape that. I mean, it's a bit small, but we've got another fish, so shouldn't be upset. Good. There you go, a little flounder. I'm holding it close so it looks bigger. It is just a small one, but there you go. I do like a flounder. Nice little pull on the line, even though, you know, it's very small. So, right, we'll put that back. I'm always happy with the bass. That's really good. It always seems worth it, you know, all that bait collection, getting to the venue, learning a new venue when you actually catch something. Especially for me with bass, I love them so much. Those prawns are a brilliant bait for bass. You can look at this video up here where we took them to Rye Harbour and fished in summer conditions with a lot lighter tackle, and I think that's where they come into their own. Float fish or free line prawns. So yeah, check that out. We'll be doing that again this summer. Hope you're all okay. Really nice to hear from you in the comments, so always send a comment to me. But there we go, even the sun's come out now, so thanks for watching.